I'm not quite camera ready, although I've been awake since 2:36. Actually, before that, 2:36 was when I looked at my phone the first time. I'll try to insert some images in, but I just want to tell you some thoughts and some knowledge. Let me say this really quickly and then we'll get into it. But the last couple months I've been sleeping really well, like 5.5 to 6 hours at a time. But the past 2 nights, I'm just talking low because I don't want to disturb the dogs. If I speak out loud, they'll want to get up and run around. Anyway, past 2 nights, I've just not went to sleep until probably around 10, and then 2 a.m. on the dot, I was awake night before last. And then I guess last night I probably did fall asleep earlier than 10 because I realized I had a couple texts right after 10. So I think I fell asleep somewhere around 9 something. But anyway, 2 o'clock, I'm sure, because I laid here for the longest time trying to make myself go back to sleep. And finally, I looked at my phone and it said 2:36. And then I turned my phone back over and I laid back down and just tried my best to go back to sleep. Just, why am I awake at 2 o'clock in the morning? Come on, I need to sleep, you know? Yeah, I need to get up at like 5, but that's 3 hours. And I was laying there for a couple minutes and then an alert went off on my phone and I was like, oh man, what is this, you know? And so I reached back over and I picked up my phone and it was Robert from Blazing Press putting out alerts on Telegram that the Key Bridge in Baltimore had been hit by a ship and had collapsed. And I was like, oh no, what has happened here? And so I started, immediately I was wide awake at that point. I started looking. Robert went live and we were on a live stream. There was like, I think 60 some people. Then it was up to like 200 and some, but it was a live stream, of this horrible disaster, even though it was in the middle of the night. I mean, Baltimore is a big town, a big city, so there were several vehicles that were on the bridge. There was a construction crew on the bridge, and this ship had hit the bridge and knocked it down and collapsed it. I mean, this bridge is over a mile long, and this whole bridge collapsed at 1:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll tell you that specific time because of this. I started, while I was on the live stream, I minimized and I went to the live cameras of traffic cameras there in Baltimore. And I found the feed of the live traffic cam, and it was, of course, the bridge was collapsed. You could see a lot of emergency lights and things like that. And so I started scrolling back, and I went back right to the moments, like probably, I was fast forwarding, speeding, reverse forward. So it was like right probably in the last 5 minutes before it happened. I saw that ship. That ship is called the Dali, Dali. It's got a Singapore and American flags both. And I saw it coming towards the bridge, and all of a sudden, all the power went out on the ship. And the ship started kind of turning sideways, like it didn't have any power at all. And then it got closer and closer and closer to the pillars, and then it went like kind of up under the bridge, and the power came back on. So then it just crushed into those I think it was one of the main supports, it looks like. And then you could see it like doing thrusting maneuvers, like trying to get out of the pillar. So, at that point it was too late. So I'm telling y'all right now, from seeing this basically almost live, being awake since 2:30 in the morning, going back, doing the research, looking at the traffic cams, something happened to the ship before it ever hit the bridge. I'm making that declaration right now. 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it is. March 26th, 2024. Something happened to the ship first. There was even black smoke that came out of the back of the ship or the side of the ship. I don't know for sure about that. But something happened to the ship. The ship crashed into the pillars, and then the bridge came down. And I just feel so bad for the people involved. I know they fell in that water like 40 degrees. I feel so sorry for the loss of life. For the families who are grieving this morning, worried, upset, panic over missing people. God be with them. We know everything happens is in God's will, whether it is tragedy or whether it is hope. But that doesn't take away the anguish and the pain that is felt in the moments when it happens. So I do just pray for all of those involved. But I just absolutely wanted to get this out that something happened to that ship before it hit the bridge. Now I'm going to tell you this as a side note. Jonna Mendez is due to be speaking at 7 p.m. tonight at the Enoch Pratt Library downtown in Baltimore, Maryland. Jonna Mendez was married to Tony Mendez. I don't know for sure if he's still living or not. I'm not sure. She's been speaking publicly a bunch. Like, she is on a public tour right now. She's wrote a book, a second book, I believe. She is the CIA master of disguise. She was married to a spy. She was a CIA spy. She is a CIA. As far as I'm concerned, once you're CIA, you're always CIA, right? Isn't that what they say? You never leave the CIA. But she's been on a public speaking tour, and she's scheduled to speak there at 7 p.m. tonight at the Enoch Pratt Public Library. So, for what that's worth, there's that. But that ship, something happened to that ship before it hit that bridge. I'm telling y'all. Much love, many prayers.